Hello everybody, welcome to Championship Matchweek 27. The 27th match day has arrived and a fresh new batch of predictions. We are now post FA Cup. Let us know if your team got into the fourth round. Without further ado, let's get on with the predictions. I'll start. West Brom versus Middlesbrough on the Friday night. We can finally say that Ryan Mason is gone. He got sacked, and now it's West Brom's first game without him, up against a tough Middlesbrough side. A pretty inconsistent Middlesbrough side, truth be told. But I think Middlesbrough will win this one, 1-0.
Yeah, I don't get Sky's obsession with putting West Brom on a Friday night. And I'm pretty sure they're playing next Friday as well. I'm doing a thing that I've never done before. I'm predicting games as I go along. So
Okay.
this is not going to end well for me. If it does, then hey ho, I'm sticking to it. However, I never in a million years will see West Brom win this game. I'm going 1-3.
Alright, and now for Coventry versus Leicester.
Oh, Leicester fans are not going to like me because I'm predicting a big defeat at their rivals. 4-0 to Coventry.
I think I'm not going to go so drastic here. Coventry, quite out of form for their standards. Leicester, they are getting wins, and I think it'll be a lot closer than 4-0 personally. I think Coventry will narrowly edge this one to get a win and momentum back. 2-1. Alright, now on to Ipswich versus Blackburn. Ipswich, they are very strong at the moment, but got postponed last game because of a frozen pitch. Blackburn, last time around, they drew to Charlton. I think this one will go in favour of Ipswich. 2-1.
Again, I just don't see Blackburn winning this game. Much like West Brom, they just don't seem to have enough goals in them. So I'm saying 3-0 to the home side.
Now for Watford versus Millwall.
Whoops, I just wrote on the wrong bit. Watford versus Millwall. Yeah, I mean, two sides up there. Two sides who, one side very scrappy, and the other side very surprising, if anything. And I think I can't split the two. I'm gonna have to say a really ugly 1-1 draw.
Yeah, looking at the form book, Watford are in form right now, probably the form team of the league, and deservedly they're in the top six. But so are Millwall. They've been in the top six for quite a lot of the season, and I think personally this points to a draw. My prediction: I've gone 1-1 at Vicarage Road. All right, now on to Charlton. Now on to Charlton versus Sheffield United. Both teams are in the bottom half of the table. And Charlton, they have not won in 5 games. Meanwhile, Sheffield United, they are getting a couple of wins together. I do think this will go the way of the visitors. I've gone 0-1.
I think this will be. This is much like other games, other teams. I think this will be very telling, judging by Charlton's result, how the remainder of their season will play out. If they win, I think they'll win again in midweek, and then potentially on the weekend. If they lose this, it's just going to continue. So I'm feeling the negative side here. I think it's going to be a continuous bad result. I'm going to go a tight one though. I'm going to say 1-2.
Alright, and now for Oxford v Bristol City.
I don't know what to make from this one. Bristol City. I'm surprised this one's not at 12. But, apparently, Ipswich Blackburn's more reasonable. Nice one, Sky. Um, I think this one is actually tougher to call than maybe it should be, or maybe you think it would be. Matt Bloomfield, his first game in charge of Oxford. I think it'll end with some positives, but a negative result. I'm going to say 1-2 to Bristol City.
Yeah, obviously, as you mentioned, it's Matt Bloomfield's first game in charge of Oxford. I think I think Oxford is a team that's been difficult to predict so far, personally, because again, I've mentioned it a few times this season. This is the sort of game they can pop up randomly against good sides at home. The result against Ipswich, Southampton, they know how to get wins from a situation like this. Bristol City, just outside the playoffs, last time lost to Preston. It's a tough one, but I'm going to go with a very narrow away win. I'm going to go 0-1. Alright, next up, Preston versus Derby. Preston, they are still in the top 6. They're not budging. Up against Derby, mid-table. The form book, Preston won their last 2. Derby a bit inconsistent, but definitely a team who's fighting. I think personally, because this is at Deepdale, I'm going to lean Preston 2-1.
Historically, this particular fixture has been a bit sticky. Preston just seem to do excellently well against those at the top end of the table, and then mid-table down, something goes wrong. So that's aiding me into my prediction. Also, I feel like it's just this game doesn't really reek goals. It reeks, and that's the only way to describe it. I do think there will be a goal for each side, but no more. 1-1.
Yes, and now on to Sheffield Wednesday v Portsmouth.
I didn't want this one first. I This is the last time I am doing it. I know I keep saying it, but this should be the one for Wednesday, and I feel like I keep pulling the trigger when I shouldn't. But I'm going to say a 2-1 home win.
I think it's difficult to predict this one, personally. Sheffield Wednesday and Portsmouth, both in an injury crisis. I heard that Sheffield Wednesday only has 5 senior players available at the moment, so it's pretty bad from Sheffield Wednesday's point of view. But again, Portsmouth, all of their wingers are injured, so it's going to be a battle of the Crocs. And who will win the battle of the Crocs? Neither. I've gone for a 1-1, but like you mentioned, this is Sheffield Wednesday's chance to get 3 points against the poor Portsmouth side, barely above the drop, and the only team that they have beat this season. But I just think that this will be a draw, 1-0. Alright, so now on to Southampton versus Hull. Southampton 15th, Hull 7th. Southampton's form is a bit bland. Hull's form, inconsistent but strong at the same time. Weird to say. At St Mary's, it's. I think it's getting increasingly difficult to back Southampton here against a good Hull side. I'm going to go 1-1.
This is another one of those I mentioned earlier. It'll be telling for some teams, depending on this weekend's results. And I think this applies for both sides here. If Hull really want to finish in the top 6, they have to come here and win. If Southampton um, Southampton want to even push for the top six, again they have to win at St Mary's. So it's yeah, as I said, it's telling. If Southampton lose, you can't see them getting anywhere near the playoffs. If Hull lose, is that a sign of things to come? Uh, it's very difficult. I can very well see this one finishing 0-0. But I'm going to say I am going to give this game a goal purely because of a match we'll be talking about very soon. Um, I'm going to say 0-1.
All right, and now for Stoke QPR.
This is telling for Stoke. They, albeit it was the FA Cup, I did fancy them to beat Coventry in the third round. I thought there'd be a couple more goals in it, but hey ho, what do you know? Um, yeah, this is telling for Stoke. If they want to end the season as well as they started it, they have to win this game. QPR, Jekyll and Hyde. I think that's the only way to describe them this season. So I can't shy away from it. It's been playing in my head ever since we started. 0-0.
So yeah, QPR off the back of a battling FA Cup performance against a very poor West Ham side in the Premier League. Stoke, they recently beat Coventry in the cup. They have a 3-game winning run in all competitions. I think this will translate to a 4th win in all competitions. I've gone Stoke 2, QPR 0. And now on to Wrexham versus Norwich. Wrexham, they're in very good form at the moment. They have won their last 4. Meanwhile, Norwich, they missed the opportunity to go out of the bottom 3 earlier in the month. But they are off the back of a 5-1 win against Walsall. Albeit it's League 2 Walsall, but maybe that could be a sign of things to come at Carrow Road. But at the moment, I'm going to say no to that. Wrexham 2, Norwich 0.
Well, I will say what I've been saying most of the season about Wrexham. Their I know he didn't play. I still don't rate Kiefer Moore, and I don't rate their defence. And they did throw it away a bit in the cup. Obviously, they won on penalties, but they did throw away a 3-1 lead and a 2-0 lead as well. But they did surpass Forest, so that I mean, it's highly likely that could be a championship fixture next season. Um, However, this is what may not be a championship fixture next season if Norwich don't pull their finger out of their backsides. But I don't think they will here. I think they will lose quite heavily in North Wales. And I think it'll be a valuable clean sheet for Wrexham. 3-0.
Wrexham are definitely on the rise. Now, Swansea versus Birmingham.
I have no words. I just don't know. Swansea let me down, it feels like, every week. I back them when I shouldn't, and I don't back them when I should. Birmingham, I think this is a must not lose for Birmingham. But I just away from home there seems to be issues for the Blues. Forgot literally what colour they play in. I it wouldn't surprise me if it's 0-0. Wouldn't surprise me if Swansea win. I want to say 1-0, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say 1-1.
I think this is a difficult one to call, but last time around in the league, Birmingham beat Coventry, the league leaders, so that's something to keep in mind. But like you said, they've only just narrowly eked past a League 2 Cambridge side on the road. So that sort of shows how poor Birmingham are on the road. Swansea, I think they're hit and miss at home. Um, Recently, they have been good at home, but I think as generally as a whole, they're a quite hit and miss team. So it's quite difficult to predict. I think this will be a hit game for Swansea. 2-1. I think I'm going to mention Chris Davies here. If Birmingham lose, do you reckon the pressure will start to mount on him?
I think pressure's on him anyway,
Mm.
with how much money they have and how much money they've spent. But I don't think, especially being in January, I don't think they will pull the trigger. And I do think it'll be daft if they do, because he's never had, first team management experience in the Championship, um, and I think they'd be silly to get rid of him. But we know this Birmingham hierarchy have made silly decisions in the past, so who knows?
Yes. Again, it's quite difficult to call. Now, let's move on to Scorer of the Week. Liam, who is your Scorer of the Week this week?
I had a few high-scoring teams. Well, three. No, sorry, four. But I'm going for the team I had to score for. I'm going Mr. Efron Mason Clark.
Ah, see, there's you with like high scorers, and then there's me. The most goals I have put today is 2. So I have to pick out of a bunch of 2 goals. And a striker who I've noticed is in a bit of form recently is Sam Smith for Wrexham. Um, so I'm going to back him as my scorer of the week. So I believe that is everything for Matchday 27. We shall see you for Matchday 28. Bye bye.